Hi, Sylvia.
Hello.
Your favorite part, right?
My very favorite pet.
We won't hurt you.
Okay.
Sylvia.
You don't bite her here.
Randy does, but I don't. Should be short.
Are the scouts here? Okay. Oh. Okay.
All right. You're Girl Scouts too. All right.
Good evening. Welcome to the meeting of the Skokie Village Board for Tuesday, February the 18th, 2020. This evening, we will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Cub Scout Pack 970.
Color Guard Penton. Color Guard Advance.
Well,
It's okay. All right, guys. Why don't you come through here and post it? Very good. And you're gonna put it right there. Good job. Okay, you're back on.
Post colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color Guard dismissed. Troop and audience, you may be seated.
Thank you. Great job. The meeting will come to order, and the clerk will please call the roll.
Trustee Roberts.
Here.
Trustee Sutker.
Here.
Trustee Albert.
Here.
Trustee Bromberg. Here. Trustee Klein.
Here.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Here.
Mayor Van Duzen.
Here, we have a quorum. Next item on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda for this evening's meeting. A motion is in order. Trustee Ulrich, seconded by Trustee Sutker. Is there anything on the consent agenda anybody would like to have removed? If not, I'll call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts.
Aye.
Trustee Sutker.
Aye.
Trustee Albert.
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg.
Aye.
Trustee Klein.
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Aye.
Mayor Van Duzen.
Aye, the motion passes. Gives me great pleasure to introduce the Vice Chair of the Village's Board of Fire and Police Commissioners for a swearing in. Mr. Rabinowitz.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, trustees, Chief Scarpelli. Happy birthday to Chief Hoflick. He's not here tonight. And everybody else that's here, all the family of our new sergeant. It's always a pleasure to be here for promotions. We have so many qualified officers who want to be promoted. Our current list has 10. So they all want to be promoted. We had to interview 5 of them to come up with our current new sergeant. The decisions are always tough. Our citizens also recognize the kind of police department that we have because when they're asked for surveys, they always give us 90% plus ratings. So we have a very good police department. And without further ado, will Officer Krzyzewski come back up here and let's get to it. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, in your name,
I, Kevin Kruzwicki,
do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
State of Illinois,
State of Illinois,
and the ordinances of the Village of Skokie,
the ordinances of the Village of Skokie,
and the rules and regulations
and the rules and regulations
of the Police Department,
of the Police Department,
and the Board of Skokie Fire and Police Commission,
and the Board of Fire, Skokie and Police and Fire Commission,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of a police sergeant to the best of my abilities.
of a police sergeant to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations, Sergeant.
Congratulations. Would you introduce your family and friends?
Yes, sir. I'd like to first introduce my mother and father, Dave and Kathy,
Welcome.
my brother John, who's also a police officer, my sister Karen, her husband Paul, and their daughter Molly. Would you stand up, please? My son Anthony and my daughter Amelia. And last but not least, my wife Jessica, who was she was quick to point out that even though I'm promoted to sergeant, she still outranks me at home.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
As Vice Chair Rabinowitz mentioned, our community does value the work that's done day in and day out, and I think you exemplify why they do. Every 3 years or so, we have a survey taken for us objectively to give us an idea of what do the residents think of all of our different departments. What do they think we can improve on? What do they want to give us a pat on the back for? And our police department always ranks right at the top. As Burrow mentioned, 90% rank our police department as one of the best. And that kind of confirms what we already know. With all of the rating agencies, we have the highest ratings of any police department in the country. We're a flagship department, so we're very proud of what our department does. And Kevin, congratulations. Calling you a sergeant has a great ring to it, and we know you're going to be back for other promotions and social occasions. So best wishes to you, and congratulations to our chief, Tony Scarpelli, one of the great leaders of any police department in the state of Illinois. So why don't we take a short break so everybody can congratulate Kevin.
Thank you.
So we'll take a short break.
Come on, kids, get in the picture.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Pleasure.
Good to see you around the halls.
Congratulations to you.
Yeah.
Your name and-
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
It's very sweet.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course.
Not always.
Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations. A long day for you. It is. It's worth it, though. It's worth it.
Where does your brother work?
Cook County Sheriff's Police.
Okay.
He's a sergeant as well.
Oh, wow, okay.
Congratulations.
I know the bigger one.
Same rank now.
Awesome. Congratulations. Thanks,
Randy, what's up, Randy?
Okay. Sergeant, congratulations.
Thank you so much. How are you?
Thank you.
Okay.
Congratulations.
I'm single.
Girl Scouts came in their own car by themselves without parents.
We'll kind of stage it.
There were no parents. No.
It's like they dropped them off.
We're gonna really do it.
We'll keep the engine running.
Like this or go?
Oh, no, just look at each other. We can.
There we go.
We'll get one more with
The serious look? Okay. With the what?
your full face.
Okay.
The treatment was going through was discontinued.
Awesome.
All right, send that into the scope review, front page.
Because I started, yeah, in today. Started getting around. Yeah. I don't. The next item on the agenda is report of our village manager, John Lockerby.
Thank you, Mayor Van Duzen and Village Board. Good evening, everyone. Item A is regarding the 2019 tax levy abatement ordinance. The village is authorized through separate bond ordinances to levy property taxes in the amount of $6,123,943.75 to cover annual interest and principal payments for the 2009 B Series, 2013 A Series, 2016 A Series, 2018 A Series, and 2019 A Series of general obligation bonds. Since 1990, the village has maintained a long-standing policy of freezing the property tax levy in the amount of $15.4 million, and the village has already directed the Cook County Assessor to levy $14,573,472 for general corporate purposes and pension funding for tax year 2019. This leaves a total of $883,223 to be levied for the funding of principal and interest on outstanding bonds. Thus, a total of $5,240,720.75 is presented to the board for abatement at this time. The remaining amount specified in the bond ordinances will be funded through the tax increment financing, or TIF, telecommunication taxes, and federal interest rebates. Once approved, the ordinance must be communicated to the county assessor prior to the end of March. The authorizing ordinance is presented this evening for first reading and review, with the second reading for mayor and board consideration at the next board meeting on March the 2nd. Be happy to answer any questions that there are, and Julian Prindy, our finance director, is in the audience as well if there are questions. Item B is regarding the Dempster Street CTA station and the Oakton Street CTA station bicycle parking improvements, and this is the construction phase for the federal agreement. The Village of Skokie received Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality, or CMAQ, funds towards bicycle and pedestrian improvements at both the Dempster Street and Oakton Street CTA stations. This project will include bike shelters and sidewalk improvements. Phase 2 was approved last summer and is nearing completion while moving towards a state bid letting date of April 24th of this year. This means a local agency agreement for federal participation must be executed in order to acquire the funding from CMAQ through the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning. The total cost of the project is $289,000, with CMAQ providing 80% of the funds. The village's portion of $58,000 will be reimbursed by the Regional Transit Authority, commonly referred to as the RTA. The Illinois Department of Transportation has reviewed and approved this agreement. I respectfully request Mayor and Board approval of a resolution authorizing the village to execute the local agency agreement for federal participation.
A motion on a resolution authorizing the village to execute the local agency agreement for federal participation in the Oakton and Dempster Street bicycle parking improvements is in order. Trustee Bromberg, seconded by Trustee Klein. Are there any comments or questions? I see Eric Cook is in there. Yes.
Hi. I didn't see anything in there about the renting bicycles, for the people who don't have bikes. Is that included in that or no?
It's not a bike sharing. These are essentially shelters and new bike racks.
Okay.
We're going to be installing two shelters at the Oakton station. They're 31 feet long. They're going to go side by side with the hoops in between to protect the bikes during inclement weather, and 3 similar ones up at the Dempster Street station. There's also some sidewalk improvements, help some ADA and some broken sidewalk that we're going to fix at the same time.
Okay.
If I can add to that, we have periodically worked with the companies that provide bikes for bike sharing, and it just has not made sense for us to pursue that further each time that we've reviewed it. And so we'll continue to look at that periodically, but it just hasn't been high enough use in order to interest the companies in coming to Skokie. And so it just hasn't been something that we've been able to pursue.
Call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts.
Aye.
Trustee Sucker.
Aye.
Trustee Over.
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg. Aye. Trustee Klein.
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Aye.
Mayor Van Duzen.
Aye, the motion passes.
Item C was approved under tonight's consent agenda, and that completes my report.
Thank you. Next item is report of our Corporation Counsel, Michael Lord.
Thank you, Mayor, trustees. Good evening, everyone. Items A and B on my report were approved as part of the consent agenda at the beginning of this evening's meeting, and therefore that would conclude my report for this evening.
Thank you. The concluding item this evening is citizen comments. Is there anybody who wishes to address the village board? If not, I think it's Trustee Roberts this evening.
I move that we adjourn.
Close to a record. The previous record was 17 minutes.
You want to go big?
You know what's through your